lips like the lipstick from your kiss. Thought we were too old for this, devil in a hopeless bliss. I'm the one, I'm the one, I'm the one you'll miss. When you fall into your I lose heart so cold. You're the one, you're the one, you're the one, you're the one, you're the one.
And we're back. If you're just tuning in, this is Third Coast Radio, and of course we are talking about all things Jackson Indie Music Week 2021. It begins officially on tomorrow, Sunday, at the Mississippi Museum of Art, man, for the official kickoff party. Always one of the biggest social events of the year. So if you are an independent artist, if you're a tastemaker, blogger, podcaster, producer, promoter, whatever it is that you might be in the creative scene in the Central Mississippi area, you need to be converging upon the Mississippi Museum of Art, because that is where all of the fun starts for Jackson Indie Music Week 2021, January the 10th through the 17th. And as we told y'all on tonight's show, we're going to be previewing a lot of the artists that you're going to be seeing live during Jackson Indie Music Week. We've got them live in studio. You're going to be hearing their music. We're going to be talking to them before you guys get to see them, because that's what we get to do here at Third Coast Radio. We got Colt Ryan in the building, man. What's going on with you, brother?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Hey, man, we're glad to have you in the building. You are going to be performing at Jackson Indie Music Week 2021. This is your first time performing at Jackson Indie Music Week?
Yes, sir.
It is? All right. So as an independent artist, and I'm asking this to everybody that comes in, man, for you, Jackson Indie Music Week, man, and being someone from Vicksburg, now in Pearl, you were in the Central Mississippi area. Talk about the independent music scene and what Jackson Indie Music Week means to an independent artist like yourself.
I'll start off by saying that it means a lot, and I'm very humbled and appreciative that I'm given the opportunity to do this, because I came to Jackson in 2018. I attended Jackson Indie Music Festival in 2018, and I really liked the scene. I really liked the culture, and I was rocking with it. And after moving here, I decided that I wanted music to be my full-time thing. So I actually got a room with my engineer. Shout out to SAT Studios in Pearl, Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm really humble about it. I'm excited. I think there's a lot of potential when it comes to indie music in Jackson and in the Central Mississippi area.
No doubt.
I've connected and networked with a lot of artists these past months since moving here, not just in Jackson, but in places like Meridian or Starkville or even Vicksburg. And I think there's a lot of untapped potential in Central Mississippi.
All right, so let's talk about you a little bit. Let's talk about how you got here. Let's talk. You moved in the middle of the pandemic, as you said, and came into the Pearl area, the Central Mississippi area. For you as an artist, what did these COVID times do for you and your level of creativity? How did you handle the shutdown, as it were?
Actually, I taught myself things during the shutdown. I picked up photography. So I was doing photography during the summertime at SAT Studios.
Dope.
A little bit of videography. I'm still working on my videography skills, but all of my videos on my Instagram or my Facebook and stuff that I all created myself.
Yeah.
But then just writing in general and just brainstorming ideas.
Cool.
All right. Nice to meet you. How was it to be chosen for the National Moss Fest showcase when you performed in Atlanta? How did that feel? And, how did you... how did you feel?
It felt
being chosen? It
felt really, really great, but my mentor once told me that hard work beats talent, and I just held on to that.
Yeah.
And I saw all of my friends or people that I hung around, they were doing so well for themselves, and I just kept working hard and hard. And I went to the Moss Fest event in Jackson, and I performed, and everybody was like laughing at me. Everybody in the crowd, they weren't rocking with me. But after the show, B-Moss was like, "This is like this is different, this is unique. This is a moneymaker right here. Like, this is really, really good. And it's brave for you to come out here and do this." And I was like, man, this is what I love to do. And it felt really, really good when I took it to Atlanta and I got to, showcase it to 251 other artists and different people from all over. And it was something I can't describe.
Yeah, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact. So you were able to parlay that into that performance at Moss Fest, and I saw the pictures. It looked, like a really crazy deal. So talk a little bit about going to Moss Fest after performing and after having that kind of lukewarm reception from the crowd? I don't think artists talk about that a lot, and you're now going to be performing on Jackson Indie Music Week, which is something that a lot of artists want to do. So, talk about, that moment, and talk about how you pushed through that moment and what was going through your mind when that was happening, and how did you prepare yourself to come out on the other side of that as it was happening?
So I think my biggest issue was I wasn't connecting with the crowd when I performed in Jackson. So what I did was, for the next few months, I studied some of my idols. I watched their videos of them, performing, and I took mental notes. I'm not gonna lie though, a few weeks before the Atlanta show, I was like, man, I'm not going to Atlanta. I'm just not doing it. It's not gonna be worth it. That's a lot of money. I'm probably not gonna go. Mm-hmm. And my best friend talked to me, and he's like, bro, you need to go to this. You might not get this chance again in your life. So, there was trials and tribulations, and I was down on myself a lot. But, in the end, I just told myself, this is what you got to do, man. This is what you want. If you want it, you'll do it.
That's dope.
I want to the lukewarm reception. That's something you really bounce back real good from that. You know what I'm saying? I want to ask you about your musical influences, because when I listen to your music, I hear Linkin Park. I hear Post Malone. I hear a lot of just different genres of music. And then I look at the energy that you're portraying, and I'm like, is this a rock concert? What's going on, man? You jumping so many times, make my knee hurt. But I just want to ask, what's the background of how you get your music and how you put it together?
Okay, so I had really young parents, so I remember being little and riding around with my dad or my mom, and they were listening to the Marshall Mathers LP, old Eminem, or 3 Doors Down, Nickelback, Blink-182.
3 Doors Down.
Yeah. So
on the coast.
I get my biggest idol. I tell this to everybody. It's Eminem, because I love his story and how he came up.
Yeah.
And I think he's an amazing writer. Maybe not, maybe he's not the best role model, but he's a great writer. But my musical influence are definitely Linkin Park, Blink-182, that punk, and then emo trap Lil Peep, Lil Tracy, and then even I really got a lot of my inspiration from the SoundCloud era of hip hop, which is Juice WRLD, XXX Tentacion, Lil Peep, Lil Xan, and I wanted to start because X was a really, really big influence in my life, and his music helped me get through a lot. And after he passed, I decided this is something that I wanted to do, because I wanted to help people like he helped me.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So the track that you sent us, New York. Talk about the inspiration behind it before we get into that.
Okay, so New York, I took like I said, I'm not very proud of many of the things I did during the pandemic, but I took a trip to New York, I think back in June. We went to Washington, D.C., and then New York. I'll tell you a quick story. It's funny how I actually stayed in New York. We took the Amtrak to D.C., and me and my friends, we have never taken the Amtrak before, so we just assumed it was 24 hours.
Hey, a train ride is a really, really good ride, man.
It was really nice. It really was.
Ride.
I took a nap. It was amazing. Yeah. But we got there, and we did all of our stuff. It was 9 o'clock. We're like, okay, well, let's go back to Washington. Went back to the Amtrak station. They're like, you can't leave. There's no more trains until 6 a.m.
Right.
So we had to get a hotel. We stayed in Madison Square Garden. And I remember just walking around at nighttime and seeing Times Square and Madison Square, and it was beautiful. It's something I've never seen before in my life, and I can't describe other than writing a song about it. And that's where the inspiration comes from, just how beautiful it was.
Wow. All right, so we're gonna get into that track New York right here on Third Coast Radio. You're gonna see Colt Ryan at Jackson Indie Music Week, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about you performing. You're gonna be at the Blender as well, and we're gonna talk about what people can be expecting from your performance live. We'll be right back. And we're back. If you're just tuning in, this is Third Coast Radio. I'm your host, Kamikaze, the Kingmaker. I'm in here with House of Mars, Smart Chick. We're here with Kayla Renee, DJ Java right here on the boards. We got my man Colt Ryan in the building. He's going to be performing live at Jackson Indie Music Week. Jackson Indie Music Week begins tomorrow, and it goes through January the 17th, January the 10th through the 17th. This is year number 6 of Jackson Indie Music Week, the fastest growing independent music festival in the Southeast, and it takes place right here in the birthplace of America's music, that is Mississippi, and in the capital, Jackson, Mississippi. So if you're listening to this and if you like live music and you like being safe and you like being socially distanced, then you can come to Jackson Indie Music Week this week, because you will have to wear your mask and you will have to socially distance, or you will not be enjoying the music, because you guys' safety is our top priority this year. We do know that we are in the midst of a global pandemic, so make sure y'all tune in, man, and check this out. Now, just coming off a listing in New York, you're going to be performing at the Blender on Wednesday. We just got through talking to Gervais about the Blender and how it takes place in 3 different venues all at the same time. So people are going to be walking around the Congress Street area, man. So what can people be expecting from you live on stage? For those people that haven't seen Colt Ryan before, describe what they're going to see when they see you on stage on that Wednesday night.
I'm going to describe what you're going to feel. You're going to feel electricity run through your body, I swear. Like, I promise you, I'm going to give you a show.
I like that. There it is. There it is.
Come out, support me, but, support Mississippi in general. But I promise you, you've never seen anything like this.
That's dope. That's dope. Now I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
Now I'm excited.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
if you have not if you have not experienced the Blender on Wednesday nights of Jackson Indie Music Week, just like we said when Gervais was in here, man, that's one of the best nights of the week, because you get to bounce from venue to venue. So shouts out to Martin's and Howlin' Miles and One Block Heats. Incidentally, we know that these venues will not be operating at full capacity. Everybody will be at 50% capacity. So when these shows start, you need to make sure that you are in line with your mask on so you can get in, because once it reaches 50%, we won't be letting anybody else into these venues, and you don't want to miss seeing Colt Ryan live, and you don't want to miss seeing these performances on the Blender at all, period, man. So if people want to get in touch with you, give us the social media handles, man, and how they can reach out to you.
You can follow me on Instagram at Colt Ryan, that's COLTRYXN, or you can check me out at Facebook at Colt Ryan. Also, you can find information on me, whether it's upcoming releases or shows, at www.441culturemusicgroup.com.
There it is. Colt Ryan, Jackson Indie Music Week 2021. Appreciate you for being here, man. And when we come back, we have more artists that are going to be performing in Jackson Indie Music Week, and we got more music right here. Let's go.
It's your boy King Dreads to get tuned in to Third Coast.